Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Alfred Field's knives, and this is one of them here. And if you open the tank stamp up, you can see Alfred Field and Company, Sheffield, England on this knife. And this is going to be a history, not just a knife video. And so this is going to be a really interesting video. Alfred Field's knives are not really highly rated. They're not highly collectible. So C.H. Price puts their collectability rating in the middle. But my collecting experience is not a lot of guys collect these knives, and I don't know why. So before you click off, if you're a Robert Class fan or a Robertson fan, or you just like high quality turn of the century American knives, you should watch this video. It's going to be really interesting. And so Alfred Field started a hardware business in Birmingham in 1836 with his brother Ferdinand. And then in 1840, they opened an office in America, and that company was called Fields, Parker, and Fields. So they had taken on a partner, which was Parker. By 1844, that partnership dissolved, and it became F.E. and A. Fields. And of course, F.E. was his brother Ferdinand. And so in 1853, the first really wild turn about this company happens. And so in 1853, Robert Ibbotson joins the company, and the company became Fields Ibbotson and Company. And this is an Ibbotson knife right here. And this is a wild thing about this. If you look at this knife, it's Ibbotson Peace and Company from Sheffield. And Robert Ibbotson married W.K. Peace's daughter. W.K. Peace was a member of the first real big dynasty in England. He was a metal manufacturer and a tool maker, and a really big one. That company survived to 1970, by the way. And so Peace comes back to the United States after marrying WK's daughter, and she's like, honey, why don't you sell daddy's knives in America? And so he did, and he made a lot of money. But here in 1853, he's joining with Fields. And if you think about it, that's a really good idea, because Ibbotson has the inside on a hardware supplier, somebody who made tools, and Fields is a hardware guy selling hardware. So that was a partnership that really worked out. And in 1863, Ibbotson retired, and the company became A. Fields and Company, and that's the company we know today, A. Fields and Company. Most of his knives are either marked Alfred Fields or A. Fields and Company. In 1873, Henry, which was which was Fields' son, joins the company as a partner. He's around 20, I don't know, somewhere in there, 1820. And by 1877, Fields was a very rich man, one of the richest people in Sheffield. He had more money than George Westinghouse, who had made a fortune in America, and his brother was rich also, and so they had done very well in the hardware field. And Fields was bringing into America knives, guns, Bowie knives, hardware tools, all that kind of stuff. And so in 1877, he acquired F.W. Herald Agency, which I researched. I can figure out who they are, but I think they were an ad agency. And Fields had offices in Liverpool, Birmingham, Sheffield, New York, and Solingen. In Solingen, his representative in Solingen was Walter Class. So if you had never heard that name before, just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. In 1884, Alfred died, and then his son Henry took over the business. And in 1866, Henry trademarks the brand Progress. This is a Progress knife right here. Really nice, finely made, two-bladed equal end penknife right here. Very high quality. I don't know whether the camera show it, but man, I tell you what, the fire on this mother of pearl is unbelievable. It just lights up. Very nice. So that's a really smart move, because in 1890 the Americans are going to put a tariff on all foreign knives, and so pretty smart move by Henry to develop a brand in America that he purchased from. I think this knife could be an Empire, could be a New York Knife Company knife, could be a Walden knife. It's high quality. I don't think it's a Robeson knife though. So at this point in time, Fields is representing Joseph Rogers and Son, and this is a Joseph Rogers and Son knife right here. Type of knife. These are high quality knives. Joseph Rogers was a rival with Westinghouse, and he sold Joseph Elliott knives. He also sold Frederick Erne knives. This is an early Frederick Erne knife. You can see the crown and the scepter logo on it. It's a really nice knife and really good shape too. Man, I got lucky getting this thing. And in 1888, Fields buys out Continental Works, Continental Cutlery Company. This is a Continental Cutlery knife right here. Hard to see. It's kind of worn down, but it's Continental Cutlery Company. This was made in America, and this Robeson made this knife. Really good knife, turn of the century. And in 1888, an article came out in England and said that Fields was mainly a merchandiser and warehouser, but he's bought a Cutlery Works, and later I read that Cutlery Works put out 57,000 razors, so he's definitely producing knives at this point. And he bought Alex Fraser Company and Collins and Wallace in 1888 also. Collins and Wallace is a company that's actively producing knives and making tools. So he's expanding his hardware supply and also his knife supply at that time. In 1890, he trademarks the heron logo, which you'll see up in the corner here. I'll put that in the corner for you. And that becomes his main trademark. But he's got a lot of trademarks now because of the companies that he's buying. He bought Joseph Kirby and Sons, and they have the I00P. It's called the IHOP trademark, but the eyes are kind of like eyeglasses. And he buys Stoner and Compy and gets the prototype and Arrow trademark and Edward Jim. Edward Jim is another company that is actively producing knives and hardware equipment. And so now he's got the, he also has Stacy, Peace, Britain, Wilkinson, and Brownell trademarks. So, Fields at this point is a huge, huge producer of hardware and knives in England. In 1900, he registers the Criterion trademark. And so he's using this Criterion trademark on German knives. You see that right there, A. Field and Company, Criterion, Germany. And so now we're going to harken back to 1877, and the guy who's representing his interest in Germany is Walter Klaas. So Walter Klaas is the brother of Robert Klaas, highly collectible knife in the United States. And I want you to think about something for a minute. If I'm Walter Klaas and I'm tasked with providing knives to A. Field and Company in America, am I going to pawn that off on another company, or am I going to sell them my knives? And so I think that these early Alfred Field knives that are Criterion are probably Robert Klaas knives, and as such would be some of the earliest examples that you're going to find in America. And I believe this is a well-made knife. It's not up to a class of Soligen, but I believe these are in fact Robert Klaas knives. Why would you provide another knife company's knives to somebody you're representing when you're in the business of selling knives? It just doesn't make any sense. So I think that's one of the advantages of collecting these knives. In 1913, they become a limited company, and they merged with Stacy Brothers, another big knife company at that time in England. And Stacy Brothers trademarks are Arcworks, and it's just a big arc is a trademark. And by 1920, Stacy drops out of the merger, and in 1922, Alfred Field and Company is incorporated in the United States. And by 1929, Henry dies. There's no relatives to take over the business. And by 1933, trading just stops in England on A. Fields and Company. It went on for a little longer in the United States. Goen says it stops around 1942 in the United States. But the takeaway from this is Alfred Field, all the knives that I've seen have been really good quality knives. And in the American market, the Progress knives, I think he's getting from quality knife makers. I know he had Robeson make knives for him. This knife was made for him by probably Walden or Empire, maybe even New York Knife Company. I don't think it could be Case, but I don't think so. I don't think this is a Case knife. But at any rate, they're really good knives to collect. You can get them for a pittance, and right now they have a low collectability. They're kind of sleeper knives. So I hope that really helped you out, that you found it informative. If you did, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It would really help me out. Remember, you'll know the truth. The truth will set you free. And I thank you guys so much for watching the channel.